Hello again, Energy Core Cordelias. On this video I wanted to share with you some tips and tricks on energy cores for Wingdiver now that she's a pretty different class in this game. Before in 4.1 2025 you would use the dash hop to gain energy. If you're not aware of it, it was a dance that I made famous in community college on Ice Cream Social Night. So what you would do is, in the previous game, to gain energy you would fly about this high, let go of the trigger, and just fall to the ground, do it again, constantly do that over and over again, and you would find that by doing that, you would constantly be able to gain just a little bit of energy each time you go up and down. So it's a way to gain energy back and still remain mobile the whole time. However, now that there is dashing in the game, it's a lot different now, and if you try and do it this way, with just, jumping, dash hopping, or not dash hopping, Wingdiver hopping, then I think you'll find that you obviously be struggling with enemies attacking you or getting close to you because you're not taking advantage of the dash. So now there's actually a new dance in town. It's called the Quick Dash Stanky Leg, as the kids like to call it. What it is it's the best way to gain energy now, it seems, is by just barely getting off the ground and dashing right away, like this. Because what it does is it allows you to take advantage of your dashes, so you're constantly moving at max speed because of dashing, and at the same time you're also able to gain energy. So let me go ahead and lower my energy here. Let's go ahead and reload this a few times. Get my energy down. I think I took the wrong weapon to get my energy down. This thing doesn't cost very much. Well, I guess I should just fly. That would be common sense, I suppose. So we fly up here. Okay, now let me get to the ground. And now, if you do the quick dash here, you'll see that you're slowly gaining energy, and you're still able to move around fast with Wingdiver with the dash. So it seems like this is the best way to gain energy and still be very mobile. It's a little bit annoying to try and get, because if you miss it, you will find that you just do like a dash like that on the ground, which obviously is bad if you're being chased. But for the most part, you're going to be fast enough with this if you do make a mistake. But this seems to be the best way to regain energy now in this game. So now, as far as speed goes, obviously this is just your standard max level, at least the campaign, level 88 energy core. So it doesn't have the best dash distance on it, but it is definitely a decent core all around. Let me go back to the main screen here and get. There's a new dash item that gives you 100% dash speed, and negative of this is, of course, the dash cost is twice as, well, not quite twice as much. This is 42.2 for dash cost, and this one is 72.8. So it costs almost twice as much, but you also get 100% dash distance. However, if you use that quick dash, you can still find yourself gaining energy and getting around fast. And then, of course, because you're so fast, if you need to regain a lot of energy, you can always just get away to a safe distance or go through some buildings and then regain your energy fully and then continue fighting. But let me go ahead and get my energy drained here. But this is a very fast item, but I used to not take it very much because of the fact that it costs so much to dash. But let's go ahead and use that quick dash here and give it a try here. So now, as you can see, it's a lot faster to dash around. But as you can see, even when I'm doing this, you're still gaining a little bit of energy, and you're actually being very, very fast. This actually is faster than Fencer. This movement right here, just slightly going off the ground and dashing as soon as you have an opportunity. Let me go ahead and restart here really quickly, because I've done some testing as far as how fast you can get to the bridge here with Fencer, with Wingdiver. See right there, I made a mistake. If you don't go quite off the ground, you're not going to get the dash, but you want to do it as soon as you have the ability to get off the ground to get the max. But as you can see, I have full energy and I was dashing the entire time. So it allows Wingdiver to be the fastest class in the game. It's not by a lot, but it is by a little bit for Fencer. Even with his max level dash hops, the 10 and 8, she still is faster with this quick dash. But it still allows you to regain energy and still be mobile. You're not going to gain a lot of energy doing this, but you are going to gain a little bit. And like I said, if you ever need to gain a lot of energy back, you can always get away by quickly moving away from the enemy with this dash, and then get behind some building, then just stand there and regain the majority of your energy. But I think that you'll find that the quick dash is probably the most useful way to gain energy back in EDF 5 now, and I think it's definitely very useful. This item now is very useful in my opinion, the 100% dash, because of the fact of using the quick dash. You can still be fast and still not worry about your energy cost. Let's go back to the screen, to the weapon selection again. Now let's talk about another energy core. So what about an energy core for us senior citizens who came from the old game and don't know how to change with the times and don't want any part of that stanky leg dash? There's a level 80 dash, which is 30% flight speed. Now, I used to think this thing was Garbaggio, which I don't know why I should think, because usually when I think I'm wrong, kind of like with the Great Shield. But this actually is a pretty good item, and I've been playing with it more lately, and it reminds me a lot of, like I said, 4.1 2025, the way you would get energy back by doing the dash hop, or I'm sorry, I keep saying dash hop for Fencer, by using the wing diver hop. But it's actually a better item this time around than the previous way to do the wing diver hop. So let me go ahead and grab an item that has a lot of energy cost, such as this shotgun. Let me take this shotgun here. So this item pretty much allows you to hover, to float quite a bit, which is pretty cool. And if you don't need like super speed, I think you will find that this item is very enjoyable to use, because you're able to, because you're able to hover a lot and fight in the air, and especially if you have like a lot of hills, like an area where there's a lot of hills. I think you'll find the flight speed item very good, because it's easy to go up vertical distances as well with very little energy cost. Because what this gives you is a very fast vertical and horizontal speed when you're flying. So let me get my energy down here with this thing, just pretty quickly with this thing. Okay, so now with this item, since you hover so much, you can be constantly just doing the hop, where you fly about this high and then come back down, and you will still be gaining energy because of just how much you hover. And it's a lot easier to fight in the air and when you're backpedaling or fighting enemies, because you'll still be gaining energy, just like with the dash, but you're able to be more vertical when you're fighting, which sometimes I think it's more enjoyable to do that. Like for example, weapons where you need to get into the air and shoot a rocket or shoot a shotgun or something like that, where you can be more vertical. But like I said, give this item a try. I think you may find that it's enjoyable because you're constantly hovering. I think what this item is actually doing is it's preventing you from having to dash to get that hover, because in the other cores, if you don't dash after you fly, you will fall more quickly, whereas this item, you're literally just constantly hovering. And as you can see, it's easier to traverse high terrain as well, because sometimes you'll find as you play Wing Diver class, when you have to deal with hills and going up mountains and stuff, you're going to find yourself struggling with energy cost. Whereas this item, you're not going to find as much a struggle when you're doing this. So, like I said, give this item a try. I think it's actually pretty decent, and I've been enjoying it more often, using this more often when you don't need like super speed to get away. Of course, you still have a dash. I mean, you can still dash, but it's just a normal dash, and it doesn't give you as much energy back as if you just wing diver hop with this item. So as you can see, I'm not really struggling with energy at all. Just traversing around, flying around. It's a lot more simple. Now there is also another item that does this but better, which is the DLC energy core. It doesn't have as high of a flight speed, it's only 15%, but because of the fact that it has such a high energy recharge rate, you'll find that it's still just as good. So, but I'm talking about, this is the main campaign core that you can use. But yeah, give it a try, and just try and hop, about this high, and then just fall to the ground, and just keep repeating that. And I think you'll find you don't have too much energy issues, and it's a lot easier to fight when you're backpedaling and so forth. However, there's also another use for this energy core, and that is that you can fly forever. you can actually fly forever without the tri-lance, the glitch which they patched a while ago. So because this thing gives you 30% flight speed, you can fly up really high. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to fly as high as I can before I overheat. As you can see, you get really high with this core. And then once you get about, 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever, then you want to dash every about 1.5 seconds. I know it sounds kind of silly to be that exact, but it's a little bit longer than 1 second and a little bit less than 2 seconds. And as you can see, I'm actually gaining energy in the air, aren't I? So what I'm doing is I'm going to gain my energy to about half here, and then I'm going to fly a bit higher again. And then do it again, dash every 1.5 seconds or so. And this allows you to stay in the air forever. Now you could say, well, what's the point of that if you can't fight? Well, there's a few weapons you can use in the air here that cost very low energy, and that's what you want. You want very low energy cost weapons. So the first thing that comes to mind is the level 15 rocket launcher. That's a good weapon you can use in the air. You'll find that you will find that you're going to get a little bit low on energy with that weapon. You might have to come down a little bit, but it is an option because it's a nice large blast radius and you can fire from high up, which is a good option. Also, you can try and use those homing grenades or the special grenades that she has that you can throw in the air. The ones that don't cost 2,000, but the ones that cost like 800 energy to reload in about, 60 seconds, 40 seconds, depends on the item. However, the best item is the grenade. Now that her grenade costs 0 energy, you can actually throw her grenade. This one is actually the best one. It's 4,900 damage, I think. It throws slowly, unfortunately, but it does have a big blast radius, and you can actually throw it down into crowds. Any of her grenades, though, any of the grenades will work with this because they cost 0 energy. What they do is they just reload in the background for a certain amount of time. So, if worst comes to it, look at those paper trees. Isn't that cool? They follow you as you turn around. The secret of game development, right there. But it has a pretty decent blast, pretty decent damage, and you can just, throw it down on the ground. If you charge it, it's a little bit faster there. I'm going to go ahead and get my energy back up a little bit. But as you can see, I can stay up here forever. And if you can do it perfectly, or pretty close to perfectly, you actually can continue to gain height as well and fly higher and higher. But yeah. Yeah, definitely want to charge your grenade, not just tap the grenade. When you tap it, for some reason, it just literally falls to the ground slowly. But yeah, so Wing Diver can still fly forever. I guess this could be used on missions where you just have obviously enemies on the land that you need to fight and stay up in the air. It's a little cheap, but it is something that is available. And let me go ahead and take the other weapon here and show that. Let me take the homing grenade and throw that. Switch out of that. So this one costs 2,000 energy over 60 seconds, so that's going to be a little expensive to throw in the air. 2,380 seconds, 60 seconds, but this one only has 800 energy in 600 seconds, so these might be a little bit better. This one is very cheap. In 60 seconds it throws down satellite blasters down to the ground, which is a lot of damage actually. I think it's 360,000 damage or something. So that could be an alternative as well. Let's take one of each of these. I think that's the homing one? Yeah, it's the homing one. Okay. So she's not the super powerhouse anymore that, where you can use the lance to stay up in the air and use anything you want up there and have no issues, but if you are struggling on a certain mission and you need to just stay up in the air, there's a way to do it now. So let me go ahead and just fly straight up. And like I said, if you want to take the level 112 DLC weapon, that one is going to be probably the best because of the fact that it regens energy so fast. It's I think it's 96 a second. Let me get my energy back up a little bit here. So I'm constantly gaining a little bit, like 20 or 30 energy each time if I do it at the right interval, and then I continue to fly up again. But you can always, throw this thing, which is cool, and it's just a beam of energy that comes down. I don't know if that reaches the ground, actually. Is there an actual range to that thing? I don't think I ever knew that. If it is, I don't know if it's just a visual glitch. Let's take a look, actually. Well, first let me see if I can stay up in the air while I'm using this grenade reload. I should be able to, because it's only 200 energy over 60 seconds, so... Yeah, it looks fine. You can still stay up the energy in the air with this thing. Let me restart and see if that thing actually reaches the ground. I'm curious now. I saw that. And of course you can throw it longer to make it wider. You don't have to make it that narrow, which is nice. This item you can spread it out more. I'm gonna see if that touches the ground. I don't think it does. It looks like, yeah, you'll have to actually throw it a little bit lower, but that still works. That's still fine. So now let's try the other grenade, see if we can handle that in the air. Let's go over here so we don't pull anything. Okay, let's throw this baby. Where'd it go? Oh. I think it's going to be tougher though for this one because it's 600 energy. But I don't know, it seems like it's probably going to work. You just may not be able to gain any height, you may just be able to remain where you're at. But yeah, it seems like I'm able to gain some energy and still fly up high. So yeah, that works too. That good grenade. Alright, and then last of all, let's cover the... It's not necessarily a trick, but I can't make a video about energy cores and not talk about the level 78 200% energy one. This one is great if you want to be on the ground and be a powerhouse on the ground because it has the highest energy recharge, 126.9 per second, compared to the high, even the DLC one, which is 95. And it gives you also 3,185 energy, which is a lot. But this item, of course, is good if you want to have high energy weapons, spy on the ground. Underground is good to use like in caves because you don't necessarily take advantage of flight as much in that. But it does recharge these special grenades twice as fast as well, so that's something to keep in mind, which is nice. It doesn't work on the normal grenades. It doesn't recharge these faster, the ones that cost 0 energy. But you can, of course, use, you know, rockets or shotguns underground or whatever, just because you have it recharges your weapons twice as fast, and it also gives you that high energy recharge as well. So, and of course if you use like a homing grenade or a homing weapon, it lets you shoot it twice as fast as well, which is nice. So like Mirage gives you twice the shots per second, and Geist, of course, like that. So definitely definitely a fun energy core. So I would say now that there's three very good energy cores to use for Wing Diver. The super speed one, if you want to be really mobile, and I found myself actually dodging red wasps and tadpoles with that energy core. If you can do it pretty good, if you can get that timing down right and just keep that. Of course, with this energy core you can't fly very much without severe penalty. As you can see, I just fall like a rock, but you can still, you know, you can still dash around a little bit, so you're about as fast as the air raider or something. So that's not too bad. But as you can see, you get your energy back very fast with this weapon, and it charges each weapon up twice as fast. So like a shotgun, you can shoot twice as fast, which is twice the DPS. And then with the Geist, it allows you to shoot this thing twice as fast as well. And then of course you want to be by a mountain when you do this. But as you can see, you can shoot twice as many shots, so it's twice the DPS, and it's just a nasty powerhouse weapon. And you can see my energy is staying about the same with this thing too. So let's go back to the main thing here. So like I said, I personally will definitely be taking the 85 more now that there's the quick dash is a good option to get your energy back, because I used to never take this thing at all, but I think it's really good now, in my opinion. So now my main go-to energy cores are the 85, like I said, of course, for really high fast speed, and then the 30% flight speed, which I'm loving. Like I said, you can't really tell until you try it out, but it really is fun to fight enemies with just, you know, jumping and then falling to the ground, jumping, falling to the ground, because it's nice to get above the enemies. And like I said, with high terrain, you'll find yourself not having issues with energy as much at all with this energy core. And then of course the 78 if you want to be on the ground. And of course the DLCs are going to be great. regardless. But yeah, those are the main energy cores that are good, and I think that's the new way to gain energy for wing diver is the what do I call that? The fast dash for wing diver. So yeah, that'll be it for this video. So just wanted to share that with you. So once again, thanks a lot for watching, and remember, EDF doesn't leave a man behind, ever. And also, if you would like to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing, as it does make a big difference. Thanks.